Lorna ignited.
Okay, so hey, I'm sitting here with the horn section from Sidewalk Chalk. So excited to meet you guys. How's it going, Sam and David?
Hello.
Really good, really good.
That's awesome. So you guys have an album coming out June 2nd. This is so exciting. So, tell me a little bit more about, how the album came together, because from what I've read, this is kind of like a penultimate album for you guys. It's like a lot of things that you've wanted to do in the past just ended up in this album. So it's been a really great project for you guys as a band. So what are some of those things that you were able to do in this album that you haven't been able to do in the past?
Sam?
Well, yeah, there are a lot of, we're a live band, and we've had a lot of barriers in the past with our albums, with recording and getting that same type of vibe that we're able to capture on stage at our live shows. And for this particular album, we were able to get away from the city of Chicago, get away from our busy daily lives, and stay at a studio for a whole entire week. And first of all, that's one of the big things that helped us make this album. But second of all, we were at Make Believe Studios, which is a very comfortable space, very open, as far as the studio recording area. And we were able to just get real comfortable and really capture the live sound in a very efficient way. And we did it with the help of a producer, Robert Sprut Seawright, drummer for Snarky Puppy and Ghost Note. And yeah, you want to add to that, David?
I mean, you pretty much said it. We were able to get out of there. We wanted to be able to work with somebody of that caliber, Grammy Award-winning, producer. Make Believe Studios is in Omaha, Nebraska, for those who don't know that. And it was really awesome. I mean, we almost worked around the clock. I think we worked from like 10 a.m. to 5 a.m. every day to record the tracks. And they just had all the gear that was necessary to do the recording. I mean, they had a whole I remember the last 2 days or so, they cleared out the entire control room and just put in probably 40 keyboards or something like that. And Charlie would just go around and record keyboards. I mean, so the sound is incredible. The songwriting is different. We approached that in a different way. Do we get to that part yet, or am I jumping the gun here?
That's definitely something I want to talk about for sure. So we can talk about it now.
We approached it in a different way. A lot of people, usually we would just kind of sit together in the room and just see what comes out of us for the past few albums. And this one, we wanted to kind of approach it where everybody had maybe like the impetus to create the root of the song or the seed of it. And so people would come in with different ideas. I know Sam had like one of the interludes is just completely Sam's idea. He sat at a keyboard and had his iPhone there, or his Android phone. And I came in with like a groove and a horn line to start one song. So we came in that direction. Also with the addition of our new bass member, Josh Rosen, he has a very singer-songwriter background. So that really helped when it came to also contributing to form and lyrics and stuff like that. So I think that the approach to the album was a little bit different. And you can definitely hear it when you hear the types of songs that are going on in this album. I mean, it was very evident at the listening party last night that we had. And
nice.
And so to finish this thought, what Sam was talking about, how we approached all of our previous albums from a live band standpoint and capturing that and trying to produce those songs, those arrangements. Now we have the problem not the problem, we solved it, and it was a great motivator to get a killer live show, but we have this great produced album that we have to recreate in the live setting with just make it even more massive. So we bought a bunch of new gear and arranged an entire set and show for these shows, this tour we got coming up.
Wow.
So we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's been that over the evolution. It's been like, our live show, we're trying to get our album to sound at the same caliber of our live show. And then that goes up, and then the live show goes up again, and then the album goes up again.
That's
And
good. That's progress, right? Like,
album is way up here, and like here we are with the live show now. So
oh, that's
Definitely.
fantastic. That's
yeah,
fantastic. And so, I was reading a little bit about you guys, and I've known about you guys for a while. So we actually have a mutual friend back in Houston. I used to be on Solar Grooves with DJ Sun, and you guys actually came on and did an interview with DJ Sun one time on Solar Grooves, and I was in the studio just hanging out, listening to it. So that was the first time I heard your voices. And I think you might have even played Houston recently after that
yeah.
interview, but
It was
I couldn't go for some reason.
a
I
show
can't
at the
remember.
Flat.
Yeah, at the Flat, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. And then I think the first time I actually heard you play live was in Chicago shortly after I moved here. And then Lily Kay came out and did a song with you guys, and I'm a big fan of hers too. So I say all that to say I love your work, and I've been following you guys for a while. So it's really exciting to be talking to you. For sure.
Actually, the song that she co-wrote is on this album.
Oh, fantastic. Which song is it?
It's called Bloom Again.
Nice. Beautiful.
That's the newer name.
I had the working title in my head. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bloom Again, yeah.
So many working titles, so we have to.
That's good. That's good. You got to make sure it sounds right,
Right.
So, one of the things that I picked up on was, it looks like you guys had some stuff happen in the past year. So what was going on for you guys that it says there's a seismic shift rocked the foundations of Sidewalk Chalk? What's that about?
Well, there were a couple of shifts that happened. One, I guess what they're alluding to is the drummer who recorded the album with us. He left the group shortly after we recorded the album. And so that, threw a wrench in the plans just because, we were, looking to be kind of settled. We had just got him as a drummer because we lost the original drummer.
And bass player.
And so there was a huge shift that happened once we brought our newest bass player in as well with the drummer, Josh Rosen. He's still with us, and he has been like an integral part of our process. But once Xavier, our drummer who's on the project, left, we deliberated a little bit, and we added this fellow named Jarrell Johnson, who was a good friend of mine. He did a lot of shows in my solo project, and shortly after he joined the group, there was a nearly fatal car accident for him.
Oh my gosh.
And nearly fatal for him, but it was indeed fatal for the passenger that was riding with him.
Oh my
Driver, actually.
Yeah, the driver. And so it was, man, a seismic shift. Like seriously, when we found out about it, we all were, kind of in a panic and just trying to get answers. He was in a coma for some days and came out of it, and we weren't able to see him yet. We weren't able to really get all the details. It was all for the family, of course, and so yeah. He was at the listening party last night. We had our album listening party here in Chicago, and he was there and no longer walking with the cane. He's still doing his therapy and his rehab. He's not able to play drums yet. So we actually have a young cat named James Boyd, who just graduated from college at Columbia College. He's going to be going on the road with us, and he's been practicing with us as of late, and
sounds
working out. Yeah.
Wow, that is quite a bit to go through, especially as a band.
Yeah, and we were just even taking photos for this album. We were trying to figure out, man, Jarrell, should we use Jarrell, or should we just go without for now, and we ended up just going without for now, just to kind of like not have so much confusion. Because that image, people are looking to see that image when we get out on the road and to these shows and stuff. So,
right.
Yeah, there was a lot of talking and a lot of like trying to work it out. But we're all here for each other, and we all kind of made it. So.
Yeah, a lot of emotional and professional growth through the process. I mean, the original drummer and bass player, we were together, I think, for about 5.5 years. I mean, it's like a divorce when you lose your original bandmates. And then finally recover, like wondering what we should do from that point on, and then finally recovering and finding a new path, and then kind of getting the carpet pulled from under us with Xavier. And there's a lot, but I think we grew business wise. We learned a lot through that, how we're going to handle things professionally, And then as well, how we handle each other personally and emotionally. I mean, it's you can tell there's a lot of growth through that as well. And I think we all definitely learned through the process that Sidewalk Chalk is bigger than any one of us. The actual entity will continue to move on.
Yeah, I think that realization is really what makes these times right now for Sidewalk Chalk the best of times. I feel like the spirit of the group is at an all-time high right now as we're approaching this tour tomorrow. We're leaving tomorrow, and like we all feel very comfortable. We all feel very happy, you know, and just inspired by each other and by the whole process that it's taken to get here. All that emotional and professional growth, I think that's really is what brought us here. All the stuff.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that was one of the things that really kind of drew me to you guys as a band is, you know, obviously you're very good at what you do musically, right? When you guys show up at a show, it's entertaining. It's a performance and it's done really well. But also I feel like, you know, your mission and your lyrics go beyond just trying to make music. You know, I feel like you're trying to really make some statements and progress things forward with what you guys produce musically. And I just kind of like to talk about that a little bit, and, you know, how you feel, like what you feel like your band's mission is, because you did say, you know, you feel like it's bigger than yourself. Maybe start with David on this one.
Yeah, well, I definitely cannot take credit for the lyrics. Like the lyric. Like I'm very much. It even takes me like 500 listens to on the lyrics of songs that we wrote, like because my mind always goes to the sound of how something, just the musical sound, but even like lyrically, just listening to the flow of the words and the syllables, but I don't quite compute the words right away. But I know it probably started with Rico and Maggie, but I know that we're all on board as far as there's a social mission, and that mission has become kind of civil rights and just not even civil rights, just the betterment of the world for sure. It has become somewhat political, and you can definitely tell that from the two singles that we chose to release, Dig and A Suite for Black Lives. Really passionate, really emotional, and Rico and Maggie both hit the nail on the head with the lyrics for that stuff. And that has kind of become, I guess, somewhat our MO. I mean, it's not everything that we're limited to, but it definitely is the spear to the arrow, or the point of the arrow, you know, arrowhead. So I think that's all I can maybe contribute to that point. Maybe Sam has more to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. But I have to say that Rico and Maggie, they're fully invested in the writing process, and really writing songs that really capture a feeling, but also create and make a statement. And we're literally getting the pages from their, you know, their therapy writing, you know, the pages from their journal sometimes, you know. Especially Rico, he for this album, he's writing about a lot of like real life situations that he's been through recently. I feel that, you know, just as people, just because, first of all, they're just wonderful people, that they're really, you know, 100% invested in what they're doing. I think that the purity of their heart is really shining through their lyrics. And you know, there's some times where we, you know, help with maybe adjusting lyrics, or, you know, if there's something that we all don't agree with, you know, we'll speak up, you know, but that's how we write. We're all collectively writing. But all in all, you know, we're getting their personal, you know, firsthand stories. And like I said, they're wonderful people. So they have big hearts, and they come from loving families. And so they have a whole lot to give to the world. And we're just supporting that, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember I got this tote bag from you guys that I love and use all the time. It says, "We must be better at loving each other." And I just thought that's such a great statement, you know, like it's just, we need to be better, you know. It's so simple and so big and so grand at the same time.
That's
exactly.
that's a reflection actually off of our last album,
Mm-hmm.
from the song called Them Us, which is about how the government is using like all of these instances, and the media is attempting to kind of separate us in our, because of just the way that they tell stories. And the funny thing is, whereas maybe I would have been a little intimidated to put that on one of those albums, if you look at the world around us right now, that was almost like an oracle. It was a telling of what is happening. I mean, look at the election, look at the country, look at the division, and he sees it. Like, Rico's definitely a conspiracy. I mean, a lot of us are actually conspiracy, but very well read, and he told it. He saw it coming, and he tells.
And he's not interested in robots at all. Like,
no, not interested. It took us forever to get him on Facebook so that we can ask him to contribute to helping us out with our Kickstarter campaign.
He did it just for us.
He did it just for that.
Wow, that's amazing.
But he knows a lot. Like, he can work any kind of phone. He can work Twitter and all the stuff. He like kind of monitors it, but he figures out the way that the government won't have his fingerprint. Facebook is not getting his information.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, really, with all those social media sites, like, we're giving our facial imprints to Snapchat and our thumbprints to iPhones, and it's getting out there.
It's out there.
Yeah, they have all our information. For sure.
We actually wrote a song on called "There She Goes," and it tells a story from a perspective of the government, the surveillance sector of it all. Like watching. And you should check out that song.
Okay.
It's on the Leaves album. It's our second album.
Okay, I'll definitely dig into that one. Because I'm kind of like David in that way. Like, it takes me a while to like hear the lyrics because I go straight to the music.
Just hearing feeling the beat.
Yeah, because I get just lost in that, and then I'm like, oh wait, there's words.
Sam hears a song one time and he has every lyric memorized.
That's amazing. Are you that same way with? Yeah, it's like my friends that can do like movies just like right off the bat. They're like, oh, here's the lines from that movie.
I'm like the dad at the movies, and I'm like, what do you say there?
I got to see a movie like 3 times in order to even tell you what it's about.
That's funny. So we all lean on each other's skills, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and between David and I mean, we literally met. So David was called to come to a Sidewalk Chalk rehearsal, and I was called by someone else to come to the Sidewalk Chalk rehearsal, and we met in 2009. We had both just come to Chicago around the same time for different reasons, but we both ended up at this rehearsal. We met each other there. David was prompted with a couple songs, so he wrote out a couple of horn line and ideas for some of the songs. And I read it. We read it together, and we talked about it, worked out some things, and it was very
organic,
That's
synergetic.
nice.
And very organic. And from then on, we were like, are we a part of this band? I think we
Did that just happen, or?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
A lot of things have sprung from that, like working on other people's projects, and
we do a lot of writing together, and we lean on each other, like what you're saying. Like sometimes, David is feeling it, and so I kind of like, yield to that. And if we're both super inspired, we're like, oh, what do you think? What do you think? No, I think this.
No, I want this. No. And when Sam's doing his own thing too, if there's any budget or room for me and stuff like horns and stuff, then I'm usually on board. Just always kind of right.
David is also a solo artist as well. But he, attesting to what he just said, he actually heard some of the songs from my latest project, which I dropped in February, called Love Notes. And he was like, man, this project needs some strings, some whole strings to these songs, because he, for one, he loved and supported me, but also he wanted to help me, have a better product. And man, it gave me a massive upgrade.
Nice.
10.2.
That's awesome. So are there a lot of artists in the Chicago community that you can do that with, like outside of your band?
Yeah, we're actually collaborating a lot with different artists. We both produce, and we both do a lot of writing, and just we're both in this time of, like, just learning how fruitful collaboration is, and we've learned it with each other at Sidewalk Chalk, but anybody, you can learn from anybody, young, old,
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about Sam in the community. Like, he's building a reputation for himself as well outside of Sidewalk Chalk. And so a lot of young musicians revere him. So I'll walk into a show or something with people that I've never seen. And then we end up working with them a lot. There's another drummer out here that we've just kind of started becoming friends with. He's like 22, just about to move out of his parents' place, but he's incredibly talented, And so it's awesome to have, when you feel like there's a lot of artists that are leaving Chicago too, looking for something else. I don't know, LA, better weather, better industry, who knows? But if you allow yourself to understand that there's always going to be newer and younger talent as well, then you understand that the fountain's just always running, there's
and those newer and younger talents, I mean, they're supposed to be better. They're supposed to be the ones to push us out of the way. And so, like, even, embracing that and catering to that, and like actually allowing them to have more of a platform by, doing whatever you can to help, I think it's important as well.
Yeah, I think collaboration is so crucial. It's so crucial. And I think, there's a lot of merit to, like, wanting to create your own thing. But if you can take a step back from it and figure out, okay, like, what do I want to bring to the table? What is that somebody already created? And, like, how can we work together to make it even better? I think that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun too. That's cool. So tour, you're going to be on tour like all summer. It's going to be awesome. So I know you're playing Chicago. I know you're playing Houston. So we'll put all the tour dates in the article link for you guys. But what are you most excited about?
Something in between.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a whole US. Yeah. What are you most excited about? What are you looking forward to the most?
Man, I know most of the band is most excited about the Montreal Jazz Festival.
Yes.
That's going to be our biggest stage thus far. And we have not one, but 2 nights there, 2 nights in a row at the Montreal Jazz Fest. And we've been going to Canada for the last like 3 years.
Okay.
We're hitting, all parts, the eastern part and the westernmost part. Which, yeah, this is going to be really huge for us, and we're starting to make a name, even at the borders. There's been some times like Sidewalk Chalk. Oh yeah, we heard about you. Yeah,
we probably like Googling us while we're sitting there waiting to get our passport.
Yeah, that's what I'm most excited about. And just to get out again. It's almost like I work really hard in Chicago as a solo artist, and when Sidewalk Chalk comes to the forefront, my thing gets put on the back burner. And especially when Sidewalk Chalk comes to the forefront for a tour, to me it's almost like a vacation as well, because we get to hang with each other and go and play music and do what we love. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, it is kind of like summer camp, for big kids, There's a lot of gritty stuff too. I mean, we have definitely had a lot of tough grinding stories that we could share, but that would take another 4-hour interview. I mean, even the time we went to Canada, we got turned around at the border because we didn't have the right paperwork, and it was winter and freezing.
We had like 3 shows that we couldn't do.
Oh my God.
In 3 days, not doing anything.
There's long drives, that's for sure. Like, your typical drive is about 8 hours, without stopping. And, but I just look forward. I love looking at the country. I love meeting the people that we see. I think this time we filtered out a lot of the shows that would not maybe do us justice. I'm not sure, maybe, but like we definitely have some nice shows lined up and big ones.
Bigger stages,
Yeah, and like Sam said, it's great to just get out because you really can't do a lot, you know, besides be present. And it's just awesome to play a lot, you know, get your chops back up and share it with everybody. But it does become like summer camp, you know. It's just fun times, and the summer, you know, going down south in the summertime is a little brutal, but you know.
Not for me. I love it.
Oh, so you're one of those Houstonians that loves it.
Oh man, I've been like, even now it's like I get teased in Chicago. It's like, are we gonna have a hot day, or like I'm craving this heat right now?
That's funny. Yeah, I'm like, I escaped the heat from moving from Houston to Chicago. I'm like, I can't do another summer as a ginger. I just can't.
Yeah.
I think we're also more excited this time because we know we have an amazing product lined up. Like the album is awesome. The way that we're presenting it to the world is really incredible and innovative. We're going to be pressing this one to vinyl, but we're actually doing pre-orders for vinyl. So nice. Yeah, if you do want it, we're gonna, you know, get the pre-orders in, and yeah, there's just the t-shirts, hats we got. Everything.
The hats are so cute.
Yeah, I
saw those on Facebook. They're amazing.
We dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's this time. We did not skip a beat. Charlie's got like incredible keyboard gear. Like he's working like a 3 keyboard station, you know, an amp, and like Josh got this great synthesizer. Everything is just elevated this time. We have a stage centerpiece that we're working with, and like a little bit of a projector show that we're gonna have as well. And we're gonna actually test run it today.
Nice.
So, yeah.
A big shout out to Revive. They're based out of New York, and another part of this tour that's kind of making it very exciting is that we have backing. We have a publicist. We have a team who are actually you know, helping, you know, raise the awareness. And we're not only having a release show in Chicago, but we're having a release show in Brooklyn as well, which is something that's going to be huge. And
yeah.
They've kind of served as coaches for us as well in a lot of situations, and some
like pseudo managers, because we've never been managed. Yeah.
I think she'd be afraid for us to call her a manager, but definitely, let's say band coach.
Band coach.
I like that.
Band coach. Yeah, Megan from Revive, she's definitely
awesome.
Stands in for us.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's awesome. And what's like the weirdest thing you bring with you on tour? Like, what's the one thing you have to have that's a little stranger than what other people are bringing with them?
I mean,
good question.
I guess if it's a winter tour, I bring my parka because I get really cold. But
he wears it like all day, every day.
But the two things that I bring with me that some people might consider, I always bring an air mattress.
Really?
If we're crashing in somebody's house, you don't know it. You might end up on a hardwood floor. And then I bring, for the party nights, I bring a box of Annie's mac and cheese.
That's hilarious. I interviewed this band from Houston once called Nick Greer and the G's. And it was right after a few of the band members were also like music teachers. And for some reason, like the school cafeteria was passing out boxes of mac and cheese that they were like not going to serve the kids. And so a bunch of those teachers were like, I have all this mac and cheese. And so we're all just like talking, you know, and they're like, you want some mac and cheese? I'm like, you can sign it. It's okay. So like, I don't want to eat the mac and cheese, but it would be cool as art. So like they all signed it. So I had this like random box of like school mac and cheese.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun moment.
It's definitely for the party nights when it gets late and then you get the hungry and you're at someone.
Yeah. That's a good call. That's a pro move. It's a pro move right there.
They make fun of a lot, but then there's a lot of people that like to dip their hands into the product. So.
Yeah, they're not making fun of you then, are they? So what about you, Sam?
I've been trying to think. What is that thing? Well, it used to be a lot where I used to always bring my inbox on tour.
What's that?
It's an
interface. Oh, and my ukulele, yeah. Yeah, but actually this time I'm bringing my flute. I have a flute that
nice.
That I haven't been touching, but I've been wanting to get on a different instrument. I picked up the ukulele actually on one of our first tours when we were in Boston. And so when you're riding around, like nothing to do, you're just sitting in a van, like you got to keep yourself busy sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
And so I want to actually, you know, hone in on playing the flute because it's very portable, and I can play it anywhere. And yeah, I just have one sitting. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really crucial to bring like your mobile studio kind of gear. Like I always have my laptop and a tiny keyboard with me.
Nice.
Yeah.
At all
And I
times.
actually, yeah, David inspired me to get, because he was inspired by Charlie, and David inspired me to get a tiny keyboard as well. So I have that with me as well. We'll all be in some places just with our headphones on and our own world.
Like Charlie Brown.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, we have to wrap this up. It's been so much fun talking with both of you. I can't wait to see you in Chicago. I can't wait for everybody in Houston to see you in Houston. And we'll be promoting you all along the tour.
Likewise. Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Well, you have a good one. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.